500 bonus points for Emma Lilly.
Yeah.
For being on What You Put In at midnight. At midnight. All right, let's get things started. Welcome everyone to another class of What You Put In.
Yes.
An episode on adaptability and adapting to change.
Adapting.
Woo. Here we go. Tools for empowering yourself to become the best version of yourself possible. Tara, welcome.
Efren, welcome.
Looking great tonight.
Oh, thanks. You too.
I'm repping a little UMass Amherst.
Maritime. Whoop, whoop.
And we're excited to join you. We missed you all over the weekend.
I should actually. Now I'm just going to turn around
you have
and
to
show the back of this shirt. You want to explain it? Can I see it?
Yeah, I will explain it. So, Maine Maritime Academy women's volleyball is, well, a dominant powerhouse in the nation in volleyball, and especially in their conference. They won the conference championship 4 years in a row. The head coach, one of the best coaches in New England, Coach Tricia Carver. Look her up. She's unbelievable. And she leads a dynamic championship level squad. Maybe we'll have her on as a special guest one night.
That would be wonderful.
She could join us on What You Put In and give us some advice.
Yes.
So great to see you all. Thank you for adapting to this new time slot. Schools are like starting this week, Tara. And yours being one of them. Not officially like going to school, but digital is happening during the day.
Yeah, some enrichment opportunities are coming out this week.
So students, at least in Massachusetts, couldn't tune into what you put in at 9 a.m. because they're going to be tuning into calculus and biology and all kinds of things.
That's the plan.
So, but that's all right. We'll move to prime time. We'll move to the 7 p.m. slot. You can have your dinner, and then you get the family around the cell phone and put us on the big screen, and we'll be your entertainment at 7 p.m. on every weeknight. So let's get started with our opening take. So Tara, you have an opening take for tonight.
Oh, yeah. So we were talking about this a little bit earlier, how just I am coming to grips with the fact that I don't have a grip at all on this situation that we're dealing with. So it's been awesome, and adapting to change is something that I think that I need to have a little lesson on myself this evening. So I'm looking forward to our segment here.
Yeah, it is a crazy time here in Massachusetts. We're in like a 2-week period now where we should not leave our houses unless it's an absolute emergency or necessity. So Tara and I loaded up this weekend on food. We are ready to rock for 2 weeks. We're going to be completely social distancing ourselves and isolating ourselves really in our
Which we have been
little city condo. We've been doing it anyway. We've been following the rules.
Yeah.
We're rule followers. I'm 65 in the right lane of the highway. Like, that's just who I am.
He's a rule follower.
And so we've been doing a good job, and now we're going to take it up a notch. I think my opening take for tonight is just the fact that I've just been feeling a struggle between emotions taking over and then trying to take a step back and look at things practically. And I just keep having these moments of like, oh my gosh, I'm trapped here. Like, we can't go anywhere. People are sick. It's chaos out there. Gone is our normal everyday life amenities, and we can't go skiing, and this is something that Tara and I love to do, and schools are out, and it's a wild time, and sometimes the emotions take over, and then I have to like bounce myself back. And I don't know if any of you are feeling that way too, but man, it's happening here. So there's our opening takes, but we're cooking some good meals here in the Gundis condo. Where's everybody from tonight? I love to see where people are tuning in from to What You Put In. So let's see if we got some towns, some nations represented. Starting to see some people joining in here.
Yeah, we know it's midnight for Emma Lilly, so she's in Luxembourg, I think.
She's in Luxembourg, I think. So we've got at least some. We got Natick represented.
Yes.
Good to see you, Natick, on here. Brighton's hanging out with What You Put In tonight.
We're here in Cambridge.
We're here in Cambridge. We got Hopkinton, a little hop town representing Luxembourg.
Yeah, we were right. Good.
Hopkinton's taking. We got people in Florida tonight.
Ooh.
More Hopkinton. Oh, Maine.
Nice.
The town of Maine. No, the state of
The way
Maine.
life should be.
Hopkinton's big tonight, man. Hopkinton is ruling what you put in. I love it.
Nice.
I love it. Great town. I used to teach there back in the day.
Yeah.
It's where it all started here. It's where it all started.
True.
So let's get going now with our gratitudes. As you know, for those that are just joining us and don't know, we are big believers in identifying gratitudes in life. You identify gratitudes, it starts putting your focus on what you do have versus what you don't. So grab your journals if you haven't already. We like to write down gratitudes in our journals every single day as one of our practices. And as you can type them into your comments, we would love to read some of the things you're grateful for. Here's your opportunity to identify your gratitudes. You want to start with the gratitude you have tonight?
I'd like you to start.
You want me to start with the gratitude?
Yeah, why not?
I would love to.
I feel like I usually start the gratitude, so.
Yeah, I am absolutely grateful tonight for my running shoes. And this morning I got into I set an implementation intention that I'm going to get up and the first thing I do at 7 a.m. is go for a run. And I said, I will run at 7 a.m. around the streets of Cambridge, threw on the running shoes, and just grateful for the opportunity to do that and to get out there and be able to move. And I didn't see a single person. I'm trying to do it early so I don't have to pass anyone. Although I have been running on days where I've seen people and I hold my breath as I go by them. Is that bad? Is that strange? I'm just trying to stay my 6 feet away.
People, yeah.
But yeah, that's what I've been doing. So grateful for the opportunity to be able to go run and get some exercise and get some fresh air.
So my gratitude, I'm just super grateful for the friends that I've been connecting with over the weekend that have been helping to keep me sane. I did an awesome Google Meet hangout with my dear friends Dan and Molly the other day, and that was just awesome because
really
they always just know how to take this Tara and bring her back to this Tara, which is just so wonderful. I've been having multiple chats with my friends Caitlin and Ellen from school, who it's just been really nice to talk to people who are in, I know we're all kind of in the same situation, but they're in like the exact same situation as me because they're coworkers of mine, so they know what we're kind of going through and looking towards over the next couple days. So it's been just really cool to see people and talk to people.
People, man.
Online, not in real life.
That's right. I think there's, we talk about silver linings and about finding opportunities in difficulty. And I think connecting with people is going to be a key for this whole circumstance.
Absolutely.
We are socially isolated in terms of physically being around people, but let's use our technology. Let's use this space, what you put in. Let's use other platforms to stay connected with people. I know that I talked about Coach Carver earlier. I saw a post where they are doing a nightly family check-in, digital check-in. They got all these people on the platforms, all their faces, and I love that. Stay connected, man. Be grateful for the people that we have in our lives. We're not alone. So with that, what are some of the things you're grateful for out there?
Grateful for FaceTime.
Yeah, using FaceTime. Yeah. Lexi's using FaceTime. And that's great. I mean, using all these resources. We're lucky. Imagine this in the 80s or the 90s before technology. And you just got a notice that said stay in your house and you had no outside contact. That would be interesting. So we are fortunate that we've got this technology. And it's what we're going through is happening right here. So keep listing your gratitudes and we'll read some off as you go. And it's always a good practice to identify those things. So with that, let's get right into our lesson tonight. Tonight's lesson is about adapting to change and being adaptable. And Tara and I, for those that don't know, coach the women's soccer team at Dover Sherborne. And we talk all the time about adaptability. And you have to be adaptable in order to be successful. And change is something that is inevitable. We are facing a time of change right now. There's crazy change. We're now in this condo for 2 weeks. Schools are out, businesses are closed, and there's all kinds of change that's happening around us. There's some real negative changes that are occurring, and we're all trying to figure it out. And adaptability is a piece of the puzzle, a piece of who you are as a toolkit to your best version that cannot be understated. It's an amazingly important tool for us. So how do you be adaptable to change? And what are some techniques that we can use? So we're going to start you off with our first technique of the night, looking at the practical response versus the emotional response. So the first thing that happens anytime you face change is you're going to feel emotions. So I know that I felt a lot of emotions. I talked earlier in my take about all the emotions that I've been going through. I've been feeling some fear. I've been feeling some seclusion, a little anxiety. I'm feeling some anger and some confusion and some sadness, and all kinds of emotions have been coming to me. Feel free to put in some emotions that you've been feeling and type some ones in there that you're going through right now. I know those are some of the ones I'm feeling. I don't know if you have any different ones, Tara.
Yeah, I mean, I have so many emotions that I honestly can't even tell you what my emotions are right now. It's like one emotion glob. It's just like, you know, when all the paint colors mix together and you just make that like beautiful paint color that is all of the paint colors. That's what my emotions are right now.
It's usually brown. You have a brown emotion.
Yes, I have a brown emotion. But brown is a beautiful color.
It's a beautiful color.
I really like the color brown, so I didn't want to give brown a negative connotation. No. But yeah,
Nothing
it's just the... Yeah.
So it happens, and usually what happens is when we immediately face change, frustration, total one. A disappointment is a big one. Yeah, feeling that. Stress about the unknown.
Yeah.
Emotions that they flood our system. And we've talked about it at our Leadership Academy, and it's something we're going to reiterate right now. Emotions are uncontrollables, and you shouldn't try to control them. Emotions come in, and that's part of life. And we like to frame emotions as just simple guides to trying to teach you something. Instead of trying to control the emotion, just let it be and let it sink in. And in these times of change, emotions are going to be surging. So what do you do to be adaptable? Well, instead of focusing on the emotion, focus on the practical response, the practical things that you can do. Because oftentimes when we focus just on the emotion and we try and talk about our emotions, like if I went to Tara and I'm like, Tara, I just got to talk through all my emotions right now. I am feeling angry. I'm feeling frustrated, sadness. All these things are popping out. When we try and talk through our emotions, we end up just continuing to focus on them. And when emotions are uncontrollables and focusing on that leads to more stress, more cortisol release, and more blood pressure going up, and the face getting flushed, and the palms getting sweaty, and all those things that cortisol causes.
That was almost just an Eminem song, right?
Is it?
Palms are sweaty.
I'm not going
to start singing.
Knees weak.
I don't actually know the rest
Something,
of the words.
yeah, I know what you're talking about. I know what you're talking about.
Sorry.
But when we focus on things that are uncontrollable, our stress levels rise, and emotions are uncontrollable. So one tip is, look, change is here. Instead of just grabbing someone and going through your list of emotions, like you can identify them at first, but then flip the switch and go right to the practical responses that you can make.
Because it is important to acknowledge your emotions as well. Acknowledge your emotions, accept your emotions, accept that you have them, and let yourself know it's okay to feel scared. It's okay to feel sad. It's okay to feel disappointed, as those are our emotional responses. You're not controlling that. So accept it, let them in, acknowledge them, and then take the next step to move on so that you're not just dwelling on those emotions and you're not growing them. So they're not planting these little seeds and sprouting into these big anxiety trees. I just made that up.
An anxiety tree.
An anxiety tree. But if you can focus on something practical to do about it, say, well, what is making me scared? What is disappointing me? What is the problem that I'm facing right now? And what can I do about that problem? Sorry, Jen.
No, it was so well said. And I think so many people go into, they feel an emotion and they try and solve it. You can't solve it. Just live with it, let it be, accept it. And like Tara said, then focus on what can you do about the circumstance.
Right.
So
you can't solve an emotion, but you can solve a problem. So think of what the physical problem is that you can solve.
And again, the brilliance of this woman, start thought.
Start thought.
If you're writing down start thoughts on what you put in, grab your journal. Here it is.
Start thought. What did I say?
You can't solve an emotion.
You can't solve an emotion, but you can solve a problem. you can't solve an emotion, but you can solve a problem.
So true.
One more.
Give it to him third time. Yeah.
You can't solve an emotion, but you can solve a problem.
Wise words from the guru. So Tara, you have a practical example that we've used in our life that you'd like to share.
Yeah, so one practical example, or just one thing that you can even do, just to identify what the problem is or what the situation is, and then just make a list of steps of things that you can do to get yourself through it, or things that you can do to start solving the problem. Depending on what your situation is, maybe on that list, and I love to make lists that start with make list, so I can check it off immediately and have that immediate success.
We make lists
that
all the time.
doesn't work for everybody.
We got lists everywhere.
But yeah, recently we were just realizing how, like, we're stuck inside, we can't go skiing or going to yoga classes, which, I mean, you can go outside and go for little walks, but we can't do like these bigger activities that we love to do that really get a lot of our, what are those, like, those adrenaline things, like, what are those? Oh, shoot. Like those feel-good things, those feel-good hormones.
Yes, the happiness hormones.
Yeah. They're happiness hormones. The things that really bust out
the
our
serotonin,
happiness
the dopamine, the adrenaline. Yeah,
those guys. So we haven't been able to do that. So we're like starting to stress out and getting tense and recognizing that we're feeling tense. So we made a list of things that we could do to get those happiness hormones out. So we're starting to do these partner workouts. We've made a little schedule of workouts that we can do together in the house and just adapting to our new situation. So I'm now just doing yoga online, or like I said, we're doing the partner workouts, and like we each get to pick an activity.
Yeah,
thank you. Endorphins. We each get to pick an activity, and it's like been a little bit fun because I always pick core workouts because core workout.
Dude, it's because...
And so it's like a little fun because I can needle him a little bit, and it, like, I love you so much, but like it also makes me just feel good that I'm like, oh, all right, well, this is for annoying me while I was reading my book earlier today. Like, you're gonna do a ab workout.
I'm just showing you that I still...
It's okay. I love him very much. We love each other very much, but we're absolutely going to get annoyed with each other and at each other's throats because that's just the way life is, and it's okay. We don't have to pretend to be perfect, you know?
She crushes me in core, everybody. Yeah. Let's just call a spade a spade.
Workouts, so that's what I do.
Next technique.
Moving on.
Values versus fears. So values are much greater than fears. And this is a great technique to focus on when you're dealing with change right now. And yeah, if you wouldn't mind. Thank you. Oh, look at that. I like that.
Yeah. Well, I feel bad that I said you annoyed me earlier.
No, it's okay.
I was just making up an example.
It's okay. I get it. I need to get outside. I need to be, she's got to throw me the Frisbee. I got to chase after it, get all the energy out. I get it. I'm very honest with who I am. Mm-hmm. So values being greater than fears. And this is something that in times of change is a great thing to focus on. Your values are constants in your life. And that's why we want to latch onto them in times of great and severe change, such as what we're going through right now. Fears are, again, an emotional response to change. And those are uncontrollable, and they're coming at you 100 miles an hour. And if you're focusing on what you're fearful of, you're going to just raise your stress levels. Because again, it's an uncontrollable. And when we focus on uncontrollables, cortisol gets released, our stress level goes up. Focusing on your values, a controllable thing in your life. They don't change, they're constant. And I think it's an important time right now and a really great opportunity for us as we're dealing with our circumstance of COVID-19 to take a moment and reflect on what we do value in life. What are our values? We all have values. We all have things that are important to us that we value. And here's a good chance to create that list. So how do you know what you value? At the Leadership Academy, we have a whole workshop on values. I'm going to share one of those little ways that we can identify values. And one of the ways we do that is by focusing on your pet peeves. And this was something that we got from Alyssa DeVere. She's the queen of confidence, and she gave me this great tool once of how to identify something you value. First thing you do is identify something that really annoys you. What is a pet peeve you have in life? Like, for example, one of my pet peeves in life is, this is a weird one, but it's school buses. They're giant yellow boxes that have the same sound and the same smell, and they all look the same, and they drive down the street and they block traffic, and there's something about school buses that drive me nuts. How do you turn that into a value? When you look at what a school bus represents, for me it's conformity and it's all this like sameness, and I really value just people getting outside of the box and thinking big and being creative. And so like those are my values. One of you may be like, I really have a pet peeve for people that lie or are dishonest. And if you turn that pet peeve around and look at the opposite of what that represents, that means you value honesty and truthfulness. So you can start by identifying your values and what you do value by focusing first on the fun stuff, like what are your pet peeves, what annoys you? Then flip that around, and what's the opposite of that? And that's usually something that you really value in life.
I suppose I value silence a lot. That's what I just am learning. No, you keep talking. I'm just saying from earlier.
Tara's pet peeves are a lot of noise and interruptions.
Yeah.
So therefore she values silence and consistency.
Yeah, I love that.
I think that's great. So once you identify your values in life, write those things down. Again, what you put in, everyone that follows this class, you should all get a journal. Be putting things down. It doesn't have to be paragraphs that you write in a journal. It could be a few of your values. It could be 2 words, your gratitudes for the day. Once you identify your values, write down your values. And then when you wake up in the morning, especially during times of change like we're in right now, first thing you should do is just read your values and remind yourself of what they are. And if you're focusing right now during a severe time of change on what you value, it's going to add some consistency to your life and help you get through that change.
Yeah, this technique has been extremely helpful for me this week because I have a lot of fear over adapting to the just moving learning online and providing good enrichment for my students. I'm an AP Calc teacher, so there's a whole lot going on with the test right now. We don't have a lot of information yet. We're still waiting from College Board to hear kind of what the next steps are. So I think I'm nervous for my students, and I'm just very fearful that I'm not going to give them all of the right perfect stuff that I need to. And I just have to realize that I value my relationships and my connections with them, and that's what I have to focus on this week, is just making sure that I let them know how much I care about them, how much I care how they're doing, and the rest of the stuff is going to come. It's going to fall into place. It's going to work out the way that it needs to, and I just need to keep strong to my value that what I care about is my students and their well-being and their health. And whatever comes next, we're going to deal with it, and we're going to get through it together. So this has been a super helpful technique this week.
So we got 2 for you tonight. We hope that you got something out of what you put in tonight. 2 good techniques to focus on during times of change. Your practical response is much more powerful than your emotional response. And focus on your values. Start identifying what they are. They're stronger than your fears. And Tara's best math teacher in the state of Massachusetts, such value for education. I love that. It's a great one.
And also, don't feel bad if one of these techniques isn't working for you or doesn't work well for you. We're not saying, here, use these techniques and everything's going to be perfect and everything's going to be fixed. It's just a bunch of techniques that we're giving through these programs to hopefully give you one to latch onto, or one that would work for you. Be really honest with yourself of what's working for you and what's not. Don't just try to fit into it because we said it's a good technique, because it might not work. So just kind of feel the energy and the flow of the stuff that works for you, and stick with that and go with that, and just allow yourself to be flexible and just be very, very honest with what works and what doesn't.
Love it. And with that, we're going to give our book recommendation for the night.
Oh.
The What You Put In book recommendation tonight.
I am so excited about this.
Is Tara Beth.
So the book recommendation of the night is the first book in the Harry Potter series. It's Harry. I took the dust jacket thing off because I have a tendency to just wreck those. I'm very careful with my books. I don't know why the dust jackets always get so messy. But this is the first one, Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone, or the Philosopher's Stone if you're across the pond. But this is an incredible book. It's an incredible series. I'm absolutely obsessed with Harry Potter. I'm starting to read it for my third time through. But if you want to talk about adapting to change... Yeah.
Harry, man.
Harry Potter adapts to some change.
Yeah, he adapts to some change.
That's our book recommendation.
And
for the evening.
And with that, we're going to finish off the night with our emoji send-off. Tara, would you like to tell them what the emoji... This is your chance to just pick your favorite emoji.
So your favorite emoji animal. So we're looking for your favorite animal emoji. I drew a little turtle up here. Because I like turtles, so I drew myself a turtle.
I think we can do our own.
Ooh, is there a turtle?
Is there a turtle? Oh, there's got to be a turtle.
There is definitely a turtle.
There's got to be a turtle.
Ooh, I like a unicorn.
Are you serious? There's no turtle emoji?
No, it's right there. Oh, we found it. No. What are you doing?
Yeah.
Close it.
We got ours up there. Yeah. So thank you all for tuning into our primetime What You Put In episode. We'll be here tomorrow night at 7 p.m. Tag your friends. We'll have a new theme, some new techniques for you to become the best version of yourself. And what we would love for you to do is try and earn 1,000 bonus points. Who's going to get it? Again, it has all to do with the lag. You may have typed it in first, but it just what appears to us. What you put in is... Who's getting our 1,000 bonus points tonight? I think Caitlin Wilson got the last one. I love it. The suspense just builds. Feel it? Lexi Levine, what you get out? 1,000 bonus points to you.
1,000 bonus points.
Well done.
That you can do absolutely nothing with.
Oh yeah, they're redeemable for nothing except your own personal pride. UMass represent. Whoop whoop.
Whoop whoop. Maritime represent. Whoop whoop.
DSGS represent.
Whoop whoop.
Bananas represent. And I can't wait to tap into this spaghetti squash later this week. Life is all about what you put in. Have a great rest of your night. We'll see you tomorrow night at What You Put In. That's what life's all about. See you, everybody.
Good night.